Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Lambo here, and I've spent the last few days doing a pretty big overhaul on my Battlegrounds Rooms of War map, and I have fixed all the pallet errors that have begot from updates from Giants. And let's take a look at some of the other changes that I've done here. If you haven't played this map, I think you'll enjoy it because I have added tons and tons of production. So the big adjustment I did with the metal production is now it only produces metal. It does not use it to produce other objects, which was causing an issue to where you would put metal in and then it would spawn it out here and you would never use it in the production. So I have removed everything from this factory that requires metal to be used, and mostly it was just for the vehicle stuff, so making transmissions and engines. I renamed this factory here to Vehicle Entire RS, so now this makes transmissions and engines. What else? And new tires, and it requires metal instead of having to go through the metal factory here, so nothing in here actually uses metal. Next up on my changes, I have added in the fill type iron ore. I removed iron because that was one of the TP materials we all used, but Giants came out with iron ore, so it is now inside this map. And then I also I removed steel and I put in Giants metal. You know, they like to generalize everything, so why not just make it simple? So I added in metal and replaced everywhere in the map that you either sold, bought, or used steel is now just metal. Very generic, I know, but it really simplifies some stuff. Let's take a look at each one of these pallets. Now, the reason why they're all in little piles here is because I was testing the auto load features, and I think only one of my pallets in the liquid containers was not liking the auto load. And I'll have to actually do some research a little bit on auto load because I didn't design that, but this pallet right here, the meat pallet, does not like it. So I'm gonna have to play with that in a future update. But we can take a look that all the pallets spawn here. We'll bring up our menu and it'll show all these lines here are pallets. No errors when spawning them. 100% working, and there's a lot of pallets, guys. You have no idea. And each one of those pallets has 2 XMLs because there is an XML to use in productions, and then there's an XML to purchase in the store. And if you go in the store, we'll go to the store really quick. You go under objects here. Every one of these pallets are purchasable to where if you don't want to make it, you could just buy it and haul it around. This also made it really easy to test things as things broke or I was working on them. Let's go through and take a little gander at all the pallets. We've got Hellfire missiles, and there actually is a Hellfire missile in there. I'm working on some animations to where the box opens and closes and stuff. We'll see how IC Script likes it. This, I believe, is mercury, used in gold washing, expedited a little bit more. And this is potassium. You need that to mix them with to make gunpowder, I believe. And these are the rifle rounds. We've got pistol rounds right here. Obviously, those are some 155 KE explosive rounds. You can make all that stuff at the armory. Silicon. I can't remember what that's used for, but it's used for something. Gold bars. Probably the best gold bars in the game. Low poly. We'll look at the poly here. Oh, I forgot. It won't let me look at the poly. But they're low poly, unlike other gold bar pallets that you've seen in all these games. This is sulfuric acid used in productions. This is charcoal, more production stuff. Here is sulfur. Use sulfur to make sulfuric acid. All the recipes are each one of the placeables. Meat pallet. I have a placeable that allows you to spawn sheep and chickens and then take them to another placeable that allows you to chop them up, and then you'll be able to sell these pallets to sell stations. Oh, speaking of sheep and chickens, there's my sheep, and these guys are animated once you, well, they don't do anything, but once you start selling it, they'll slowly disappear. And there's my big rock. This is stone. These actually spawn all over the map if you know how to turn it on, which is a secret. It's a secret of the map. Let's see here. These are the ACR rifle, and there's There is ACR rifles in here. There's a little animation when you're on offloading, I believe. Kind of see in there. Not really. There's a little gap. Anchovies. Has to do with the fishing on this map. They're not animated in this image, but in my commercial pack, some of those anchovies in there are animated. Chickens. I found a low poly, really crappy chicken model, but same thing. You haul that with the sheep to a butcher and they will butcher it. This is gunpowder. We're going to be using potassium and some other stuff. And also primers. So you're going to need primers to make ammunition. Let's run over to this pile and see what we have over here. This is really just a big pallet update. Copper concentrate, lead concentrate, pure brass. This is what your brass will look like when it's ready. Pure lead. So we'll put that on the lead box right now. That's what the lead will look like. Aluminum. They all these metal pallets have a little bit different textures to kind of differentiate. Gold nuggets. So these get smelted down into the gold bars. This is the new metal pallet. It's not really new, but I couldn't get Giant's exact model because they have it decrypted. So you can't really take it, but I had my own, so I just changed it from steel to metal. Pure copper used in electronics and a couple other productions. Lithium batteries. This pallet's kind of ugly. Maybe one day it'll get a revamp. Pure zinc. We use that a lot on the boats out here where I live to keep the salt water from eating at the metal. Rubber. I bet you never knew rubber came from trees. I bet you didn't know that. You doubt me? Google it. Kind of crazy. Zinc, concentrated zinc, so we'll be using this to make pure zinc bars in productions. The tranny. I know it'd be cooler if it was an actual transmission and not a box, but you want to talk about the amount of lag that I got putting a high poly transmission in the game and then you spawning thousands of pallets of it. It was kind of a nightmare, so I changed it and the engine to just a normal box. Parts used in productions and to speed up stuff. Whee! Superman plastics. I will be doing an update in the future that puts trash on the map, so you can actually go and pick up trash, take it to a recycler, and recycle it down and use the plastics for other productions. Nails used to make pallets, and that is a pallet right there that is used to make other stuff. And this is electronics. I do believe electronics require copper and plastics to make. There might be something else in the production line that's required. Waste. So a lot of the productions on this map, they produce a fill type called waste, and it actually costs money to have this container and to have it in your storage silos. So when you go to get rid of it, it's going to charge you much like a tax, like how the government does it. Seawater, you can extract salt from out of that, and then also use it in the lithium production, which is kind of crazy because Elon Musk is working on making lithium from seawater salt. Pretty nuts. Naphtha, this is used in production of plastics at the refinery over here. Grease, this is going to be used to expedite a lot of different things to make it better, such as the oil rigs that are way out there. You can kind of see them right where my pointer is. And also when you're making the engines and transmissions, you're going to be required to have grease in there. Diesel, obviously you know what that is. And let's see, what else we got here? We got vodka. Vodka, it's potato vodka. 44 North, that's from my old home state, Idaho. And we got ethyl, we got some grain alcohol, and then this is anhydrous ammonia. Doesn't look like anhydrous ammonia. Might have to fix this. Oh, the anhydrous ammonia dumped into it. I see what happened when I spawned the anhydrous ammonia. Alright, there might be a little bit of fixing to do. That anhydrous is obviously labeled as a bulk, and I'll have to fix that before the update. And that was a lot of pallets, guys. I know it doesn't seem like it, but trust me, it was. See, I don't think I actually spawned the sulfuric acid. I know we got potassium around here somewhere too. Yeah, that's going to be my big update for these bad boys. Let's take a look at the productions. So the productions now to make new tires, you're going to need a little bit of metal, some rubber, some fabric, and you get 4 new tires. Car engines, You're going to need your metal, parts, tools, plastics, and some grease. And then with the transmission, same thing, just a little bit less for each one of those. And we'll take a look at the metals production. You will need, so instead of going the giant's route of just iron ore and turns it into metal, I still don't like that. Because in order to make iron and all that and steel, quote unquote, you need lime and you need coal, and has to do with chemistry. So I left it the same. And then if you want to make more metal and be more proficient, you just need 2 tools, and it'll boost this up to a proficient level. Some of the other productions that are in here. And on to some other fixes in the map. Let's hit tab. It'll take us to the box crane that people like to steal and put in their maps and then don't credit me in it. I have removed the requirement that it runs on fuel because it used to require fuel and a lot of people couldn't figure out how to refuel it, so I just removed that all in general. And now it's used over here with the chickens in the greenhouse and the horses to kind of be lazy and move stuff around. And the last little thing that I want to cover is the transmission and the car engine. Now, when these spawn in the production, you get 1 liter of it. You get one, just one engine and one transmission. And the game, when it goes to display how much a place will pay it for you, they do it in 1,000 liters. So basically the cost of one engine is times 1,000, and it'll give you this ridiculous $2 or $3 million here. And the same thing with the tires. You get 4 tires, but the game is going to times the total cost of one tire times 1,000, and that's what it's going to display here. So you don't actually get $2 million for an engine, just to clarify on that. It has probably one of my most favorite legends I've ever made. You got your oil rigs up here. You got all these different spots for dirt piles, sand piles, and I don't actually have any iron ore dropped on the map anywhere. There is production sites that take stone and it takes other, let's see, there's river sand, there is pay dirt, there is river sand P, which is pay, and then there's dirt, pay dirt, sand pits. But it basically turns these into small increments of all of the other minerals. So your big thing is you're mining stone on this map, stone, dirt, and sand. And then your processing facilities will extract out those individual little thingamajigs. But if you want to go for a more detailed specific type of fill type, I recommend checking out my Miner's Delight pack that I have on Patreon right now that spawns in these materials in single forms. So if you want iron ore, or if you want dirt, stone, whatever it is in a certain area, that pack has it all. On that note, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you understand I didn't add really any new placeables to the map or edit any of the terrain or anything like that. I literally have spent a long time just trying to fix everything that the updates broke. That is the Battlegrounds map. Might be adding some stuff for the future. If you got any ideas you want to put into it, things I should add, changes, please leave a comment down below, and maybe on the next update I'll throw that in there. Thank you so much for watching. You guys enjoy yourselves and have a good rest of your week.